I love a Caesar salad. The only thing about a Caesar salad that I don't like is that it gets very like soggy and wilted fast. So what I found is using a Tuscan kale, which is nice and sturdy, will hold up that nice thick Caesar dressing and it won't get wilted. And it's easy to stem. Just pinch together the leaves at the bottom and scale it back. Leaf, stem. Give it a nice little bunch, squeeze it, and then slice thinly. Kale is very bitter, and a lot of people that I know don't like kale. Kale has a bad rap. It's all about how you work it. Just gotta give kale the opportunity to shine. So I've used about a pound or 2 bunches of kale. Now I'm gonna get started on my Caesar dressing. I love a good thick Caesar dressing. About a half a cup of mayo with dressings, especially like a Caesar dressing. I like to eyeball it. I mean, it's all about taste. About 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a few dashes of Worcestershire. It cuts through some of that creaminess and it adds a little bit of that salt flavor too. I've minced 3 cloves of garlic. Want to also add anchovies. Classic Caesar dressings have anchovies. If you're really funny about anchovies, you don't have to use them, but I like a good authentic Caesar dressing and I love anchovies. I'm gonna use about 2 fillets in here. And I like a very tangy Caesar dressing, so I'm adding the zest of 1 lemon and the juice of 1 lemon. A liberal amount of freshly cracked black pepper. Half a cup of freshly shaved parm. I'm gonna add a little more to this. I want about a cup. You get that really nutty flavor. It's fresh cheese, I mean, you can't beat it. When I go to an Italian restaurant, they say, oh, ma'am, would you like some freshly grated cheese? I was like, yeah, sure. And they'll come over and they'll grate and they'll say, okay, no. Keep going. So that's about a cup. Give it a whisk. Make sure the anchovies break down. All right, before I add any more salt, taste. Ooh, it's tangy, it's cheesy, it's creamy. It has a nice little kick from that pepper. I don't need to add any more salt to this. The anchovies did the trick. Add my kale directly to the bowl. Use a tongue to mix it up. Oh yeah. This smells and looks great. Uh-oh. Wow. Ooh.
I do my bacon in the oven, about 375, about 15 minutes. Here's a great tip. If you're using your oven, use your oven, you know? Put your bacon in there too, along with your tomatoes. Onto our pasta. It's going in our salad. 2 cups ditalini pasta. Ditalini in Italian means little thimbles, actually. So not only do they look cute, but they sound cute. Lorenzo loves them. They're great with a little butter, a little cheese. Let's keep an eye on this. We're gonna cook this slightly undercook it, shock it, so they stop cooking immediately. Some nice red cabbage, really bright, and it's a superfood. You can't go wrong using this vegetable. And I just cut it like an onion, shave it down almost, nice and close. Look how beautiful that's gonna look in there. All right, this is an easy way to chop an onion. That end, we want that end off. You always keep this little hairy end on as long as you can. Gentlemen, we want to keep our hair as long as possible. Luckily, I was blessed with a nice little bouffant here. So that way, it reminds me, I want my hair on my head. Let's keep the hair on the onion as long as possible. Even if you cut it in half, you're still gonna be able to get a good mince out of this onion. All right, start from the bottom. Get in there, pull the knife back using the palm of your hand. Turn it vertically. Look at this, so easy, but don't cut all the way through. Don't cut through that root end there, right? Turn it again, and look at that, perfect minced red onion. It's a great move. Beautiful. Of course, our bacon, crispy, right from the oven. Just start ripping through it. Beautiful, look at that. Oh, last but not least, we need some red in there, right? Not only is it savory and delicious and hearty, it's a perfect accompaniment to our sandwiches. The tomatoes, course, some crumbled blue cheese. My sandwiches are mad, I can already tell. We're trying to outdo it with the salad, but like every great sandwich, it needs a partner, and today, it's gonna be that Italian chopped salad. Let's leave that in there for a couple minutes. I gotta grab my salad. Keeping it beautifully chilled, along with my sweet Italian dressing. This recipe is available on foodnetwork.com/sandwichking.
Don't be sorry.
I know you did.
First, everything a little
Ditalini, and I love that in a salad.
And thank you, Paula, for teaching me.
Thank you for inviting me. This is fabulous.
It really is, and the salad is delicious as well.
I think everyone's a winner, and I'll come back anytime.
That's good.
I know you like that one. That's her favorite.
Nice hearty texture to it.
All right.
Yeah. Nothing better than sharing the food you love with the people you love.
My pretzel crusted chicken nugget salad has crunchy, juicy morsels of meat on a bed of crisp greens, and then toss everything together with a creamy Caesar dressing. To get started, I'm crushing up my pretzels, which I love on chicken nuggets because they add that pretzel-y flavor, they add saltiness and crunch. My pretzels are crushed. I'm gonna dump them into my shallow bowl here. Pretzels go with everything, savory and sweet. And now to get these pretzels to stick, I'll whip up a mayonnaise coating. I like using a mayo-based dredge because it adds so much flavor and moisture to the chicken. I'm gonna start with half a cup of mayo, and then a quarter cup of mustard, some grated Parmesan cheese, and this is really finely grated so that it helps everything stick, and then a teaspoon of garlic powder. Lastly, I'll add some fresh cracked pepper. And I'll stir this until it's smooth and creamy. Looking good. Now I'll grab my chicken. I got my chicken breast here that's cut into nuggets already, and I'm gonna work in batches, taking the chicken through the coating, the pretzels, and then onto the pan. And I'll just get in here with my hands. I'll toss it around and get it evenly coated in the mayo, and then I'll transfer it to the pretzels and get it coated all over in the pretzels. And I have one hand for the chicken and the mayo mixture, and one hand for the pretzels. It'll just be cleaner that way. And I'll just put this onto my pan, evenly spaced so that the chicken gets cooked on all sides. And before these go in the oven, I'll spray them with some cooking spray so that they can get nice and crispy. So easy. Now I'll bake them at 425 for about 12 minutes until they're cooked through and golden. My pretzel crusted chicken nuggets have been baking, and it smells like the best fast food restaurant in here. I'm gonna check on them. These are golden and beautiful. I'm gonna let them cool slightly while I whip up my dressing, and then I'll put the salad together. This dressing is super creamy and extra cheesy, which are two hallmarks of a great Caesar dressing. I'm gonna start with plain whole milk Greek yogurt, and it adds that great tang. I'll add 1 cup to my bowl, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, a couple of tablespoons of Dijon mustard, a few shakes of Worcestershire. I'll add the zest and juice of a lemon. This is such a great dressing to make in a big batch and to have on hand. I love it. And while I have my fine zester out here, I'm gonna use it to grate in my garlic cloves. I'm gonna add some olive oil, which will make this dressing rich and luxurious. About a quarter cup, and then I'll season with salt and pepper. This dressing looks awesome. Okay, I'm gonna grab my veggies and then I'll put this salad together. I start with curly leafy kale and add sliced radishes for color and pepperiness, a little shaved Parmesan, and then toss with my creamy Caesar to get everything fully coated. And then I have to have avocados, more cheese, some more Parmesan, and now the golden crunchy chicken nuggets, the star of the show. I love the colors of this salad. Pile these right on top. And I'll finish with some more black pepper. Okay, I'm gonna taste a chicken nugget. So crunchy and flavorful.
All right, so now we're gonna start the creamy lime dressing for our Tex-Mex salad. Super simple to make, and once you taste it, you're gonna think, oh, this is a great dip for like vegetables and all kinds of things. So we're gonna get started in our blender with some cilantro. It's all over Mexican food, and let me tell you, I sometimes use it like lettuce on a taco. Just pile it right on. Really flavorful. All right, so we've got the cilantro, and I'm gonna put 1 clove of garlic in. Add a little bit of flavor. I try to put garlic in everything, I know. I really, really love the flavors of Tex-Mex food. My first job in San Antonio, Texas was like at a burger joint, but right after that, I worked at a Mexican food place. Let me tell you, I was taking food home almost every night. All right, so we've got our garlic in there. Then I'm gonna get my lime. I'm gonna zest the lime. Now, when I go to zest the lime, it's all because I just love the oils that are in the skin. Anytime I put lime juice or lemon juice in something, zest is gonna go right behind it. All right, so we're gonna do the zest of a lime right here. You don't have to do the whole thing. Just get some of those essential oils. It really smells great. Love it. All right, that's pretty good. I'm gonna cut this in half and get some juice out of it. Well, you have some lime left over and some beer left over from the batter. You know what to do, you know what to do. Usually when I go out to a bar and I order a beer, I always say, yes, 2 limes, please, because the lime slices are never enough. It really adds a little kick to your beer. Give it a try. I have a friend that does grenadine in beer. Makes it pink. She loves it. All right, lime is in. Now, next, what I want to add to our creamy lime zest or our lime dressing is a little bit of sour cream. Get my little cup measure here. Yeah, this is gonna make it nice and creamy. Let me tell you, this all just came out of me figuring out how to use up some cilantro before it went bad in my fridge. And I was getting ready to have some Mexican, so I was like, yeah, you know, it's not good enough and crunchy enough to go on the taco like lettuce. I'm gonna have to blend it away into something. All right, to the sour cream, I'm gonna add some honey. Ooh, look at that, about a tablespoon. You might say to yourself, why honey? You know, I tasted it and it needed something, and I didn't want to put sugar in. And a little bit of our red wine vinegar. All right, so everything is in. We're just gonna blend it really quick. And now we want to add a little bit of olive oil and thicken it up a little bit. This is gonna be so good. We're gonna mix this with the lettuce, but there's gonna be some left over. It's great, like I said, for dipping your vegetables. So let me give this a taste. Ooh, it looks good too. It's a nice, like, pretty green color. I love dishes with color. You eat with your eyes first, that's what they say, right? Could use a little bit of salt and some pepper. So I'll add that in right now. Trust my eyeball. A little bit of pepper. And this is, I think, pretty much good. Ready to go. All right, I'm gonna let that sit and get all beautiful with the flavors, and I think it's about time to get the cornbread out, and it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. These are gonna make great croutons. Cut them up into little cubes, sprinkle them over the top. Yeah, that's gonna be good. All right, so we've got our black beans, our salsa, and our sazon. Sazon is great. A little tiny packet adds so much flavor. It's got annatto, which makes everything red. It's like the Italian, or not the Italian, but the Mexican seasoning salt, kind of like Italian seasoning for Mexican food. All right, so I'm going to get my black beans into my strainer here. I'm gonna rinse them off and check over my shoulder for our fish frying up in our cerveza batter. Yeah, I love me some cerveza. All right, get the black beans in. Probably because I grew up in Germany a little bit, huh? Fell in love with beer early. All right, so black beans into our strainer. Just gonna add some water to it, get the liquor off of it, and then to the black beans, that little packet of power, the sazon. That's gonna add so much flavor. It's gonna taste great and just round out the entire salad. So, sazon in. I'm gonna stir that up. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use some store-bought salsa, but to that, I'm gonna add a couple of chopped Roma tomatoes, just to kind of brighten it up and make it a little fresh. All right, so get that ready for our layers. Got to kind of assemble the layers and then start layering. And this, to me, most important layer, our cornbread croutons. Remember, we just baked this 400 degrees, 20 minutes, store-bought. Follow the directions. We're going to cube these up, and we're going to throw them on top of our Tex-Mex salad. It's going to be great. We're going to put together our Tex-Mex salad right now. Now, this is great because when you show up to a party, if this is what you bring, you totally look like a superstar and you didn't do a lot of work. So the first layer to our Tex-Mex salad is gonna be our black beans, straight from the can. All I did was add the sazon, annatto, lots of great spices. So to that, we're gonna put some cheddar cheese. I love cheddar cheese, man. Shredded, so we didn't do a lot of work. Get it from your grocery store, just like that. And then the next layer is gonna be our salsa. Remember, we took this straight from the jar, added some fresh Roma tomatoes. Gonna put this right over the top. This is gonna be so good. And the layers are nice. It's a savory trifle, not a sweet one. All right, the next layer on top of that is gonna be our Monterey Jack cheese. If you've got pepper jack, get it poppin'. There's so many layers of heat over here, I just try to take it easy, but if you've got the pepper jack, make that happen. All right, now remember we did the creamy lime dressing earlier. That's gonna go right on top of our romaine lettuce. Just a little bit and a little bit of sauce left over so I can add it to my salad if I want it a little bit wetter or dip some veggies in. This goes right on top. Now, come on, tell me this doesn't look like a fiesta. The only thing we're looking for right now is the topper. And that's gonna be the greatest croutons you've ever had. Some cornbread croutons. So right on top. And there you have the feeling of San Antonio. Are we on the Riverwalk?
We're gonna make Caesar salad. And when you have really great Caesar salad, what do you gotta have? Exactly. Great croutons. And great croutons, now, a lot of people like to use day-old bread, which I think is fine, but I don't have time to wait around for the bread. So what I'm gonna do is just cut some rough crostini-style bread. I've got the oven fired up, of course. Knock that out, looks like about enough. I should probably check this out. When I go to the store, I have to get 2 loaves of bread. One that I eat as I peruse the store, and the other that I actually come home and cook with. Okay? Let me get different bread. Okay. Quick, simple, easy. I think if you're gonna have croutons, if you're gonna eat them, you're gonna do it, don't do them out of a box. Come on, that, a little bit of olive oil. Each one of them. We'll get it with a little S&P. We get a little bit of thyme in there. Parmesan cheese. Okay, we're gonna let these just go and dry out. It's gonna complement the Caesar salad. We are Caesar salad fans around here. A little dust of some Parmesan. But I only want Caesar dressing. I really gotta make the dressing. Now, different people, some people like to emulsify. Well, I'll show you in a little bit, but you're gonna see. Make the bomb, especially with those fresh eggs, those golden yolks, nuts. All right, this, just peel up. Just sprinkle on a little bit of thyme. The stem comes off with it, that's fine. That means it's tender enough. That's it, okay? A little bit of time on that. In the oven. Over to the side. Don't want it to brown up too much. Let it come out, let it cool down, turn out nice and dry. Okay, so in with some garlic. A little bit of anchovy. This is the key right here with the 2 forks. We'll just go one nice big anchovy. Depends on the size. Okay. A little bit of Dijon mustard. A little more, so you can see that. So the yolks, the garlic, the anchovy, Worcestershire. Just a touch. A little bit of the lemon or lime. There you go. So now, wanting to break up that anchovy, I'm raking the anchovy over the other fork. And this is right here, I'll make it easier so you can see this. See this? So what I've got is I've got this anchovy sitting in here and I'm raking that over the top of the other fork, just really helping that anchovy break down. Now if you have anchovy paste, that's fantastic. Okay, we break that down. There we go. Now This is not a super emulsified dressing. We could do this with a food processor. It would be really nice and tight. But when I was the flambe captain at the Red Lion Motor Inn in Eureka, this is how we did it tableside. There we go. And for a little more flavor, a little extra virgin olive oil as well. Okay. We're in good shape with that. We'll just let this hit a little salt and pepper to it, and then we'll just let this kind of sit here and hang out and let all the flavors come together. Refrigerating, it's a great idea, but we're gonna use it so quick. Hunter, go ahead and hit some croutons on that, and we made some Caesar dressing. Ryder got the eggs, Jules and Hunter made the sandwiches, but look at this beautiful Caesar dressing with those golden yolks out of my chicken ranch. I am a chicken rancher, as you can tell. Okay, you good with that?
Is that good?
A little bit more. All right, here. We'll just spoon on. Let me scoot in here, son. So we kind of do a rough cut on the romaine. We've got Worcestershire garlic, anchovies. Hunter, there's some Parmesan cheese right there. Grab that. It's going to be kind of a appetizer hand salad.
Lad's got all the kids at their respective sports practices, and I'm all by myself on the ranch. I thought I'd challenge myself to make some of my favorite recipes in less and less time. Okay. I'm making buffalo chicken salad, and I've got to get the chicken cooking. So I'm going to throw just a tablespoon of butter in a small skillet, and then I'll add just a little bit of olive oil. And while that's heating up, I've got one boneless, skinless chicken breast, and I'm just going to cut it in half, and this will help it cook a little faster. So I'll just lay my palm flat on top of the chicken, and I just slice it in half. It helps to have a really sharp knife. All right, now I'll just grab some salt, pepper, sprinkle it on top. Okay, now I'll just put it into the skillet with the butter and olive oil. Okay, I'm gonna whip up a really quick blue cheese dressing for the buffalo chicken salad. And it starts with half a cup of mayonnaise. Okay, and then I'll add 1/4 cup of sour cream, 1/4 cup of milk. Then I'll mix this together and get it really, really smooth. Now to the dressing, I'll add a couple of dashes of Worcestershire. And then of course, since it's blue cheese dressing, about a 1/4 cup of blue cheese. A little bit more if you're like me. I like tangy, tangy, tangy blue cheese dressing. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit of pepper. Okay, the dressing's all done. So I'll start working on the salad greens. I'm gonna chop up some romaine lettuce. I'll just cut off the tough end, and then I'll just make small cuts. Okay, I think that ought to be enough. Now the chicken's just about done, so I'm gonna pour some Louisiana hot sauce right over the chicken. This is also called cayenne pepper sauce. It's the sauce I use to make buffalo wings. Now I'll let that sit for a sec. Now I'll throw the romaine into a bowl, and then I just have a box of mixed greens. I want the salad to have some variation in color and texture, so I'll just throw a few of these in there. And then I'll just mix this up. And now I'll just pour some of the dressing over the top. Any dressing I have left over, I'll just use as a veggie dip. Now the chicken's done, so the last thing I'm gonna do is just slice it up to put over the top of the salad. Okay, chicken to be unmistakably buffalo wing in nature, so I'm just gonna spoon a little bit more of the sauce over the top. I want them to be really saucy. Okay, now I'll assemble the salad. Got a serving bowl, and I'll just pile all the greens in there. Got that yummy blue cheese dressing. Let me check the clock. Oh boy, I better hurry. I knew this one would be close. Okay, and then I'll just grab the chicken, arrange it over the top. Okay, now the last thing, I'm gonna cut the bottom off of a head of celery, open it up and grab a few celery hearts with the little leaves. This is just a nod to buffalo wings and eating celery with blue cheese dressing. And then I'll just sprinkle on a little bit of extra blue cheese. Okay, I gotta check the clock. Oh, just a little over 10 minutes. That counts, right? A lot of people say, you know, I love steak, but I don't want to eat steak and potatoes every night. I always direct them to the big steak salad. It's one of my favorite beef recipes. It's pretty much a huge salad with a big juicy steak on top. And then another thing on top, and I'll wait before I tell you about that. It's a pretty decadent dish. I've got 2 ribeye steaks, putting them in a plastic bag, and I'm gonna let them sit for just a short amount of time in this delicious marinade. It's an Asian-influenced marinade. The first ingredient is canola oil, red wine vinegar, and also balsamic vinegar, some Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, and then for some zip, a couple of tablespoons of fresh lime juice, a little sugar for a hint of sweetness, garlic, some minced fresh ginger, hot chili oil, salt, and black pepper. Believe me, it's good. Now I'll just pour half the marinade into the bag with the steaks. And the great news about this is it doubles as the salad dressing, so I'll save that for later. Now I'll just seal up the bag. I'm gonna let the steaks marinate for about 5 to 10 minutes. You can let them go longer if you have the time, but you don't have to. Now, one of the best parts about this salad is I top the whole thing with thin fried onion rings. I've got 2 onions and I sliced them really, really thin, and I'm just gonna do a quick soak with some buttermilk. It's just gonna moisten them up, take a little bit of the pungent onion flavor away. And while they're sitting, I'll make the dry mixture, and that's just 2 cups of flour, and a good amount of salt, just about a tablespoon or so. About a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, gives them a little kick, and then just some regular pepper. Then I'll whisk this together. Okay, now I've got some oil going. It's about 350, 360. So I'm gonna stir the onion rings around just a little bit. And then I'll just take a little bunch, let the buttermilk drip off, drop them into the flour mixture, and then I'll pick them up and hit the tongs on the side of the pan, and that just helps the excess flour drop off. And then I'll just plunge them into the oil, and these are gonna fry in no time. I'm gonna do them in batches so they'll cook really evenly, and they are gonna be golden and crisp and out of this world. The onion rings are just about done. I'm just taking out the last of them. All right, I'll turn that off. Now I'll get the steaks going for the big steak salad. I've got a grill pan. That's a nice shortcut way to grill things. It gives things nice grill marks without having to go outside and light a big fire. All right, 1 steak, 2 steaks. Now I'll let those sit. They're gonna go about 2 to 3 minutes per side. So I'll get started on the salad ingredients. I've just got a big old box of mixed greens, arugula, radicchio. You can use any lettuce you want. All right, now I'll just throw in some whole grape tomatoes. I'm not even gonna cut them up. Okay, spread all that out. Now I'm gonna slice the steaks. I'll go against the grain and just slice sort of thin strips. I love warm steak and cold salad. It's one of life's real pleasures. Okay, and then of course, the grand finale. I'll just grab a nice handful of onion strings and put them right on top of the salad. I know I am breaking a few rules here, but I don't care. This is so delicious.
I love all the big, bold flavors of the things from the farm. Of course, you can buy arugula at the grocery store. You need about 8 ounces for the salad. I actually love composed salads like this because you can really throw anything in that you like. I always go into the pantry and go, that would be good in this. That's how this salad came about. So the arugula, I just cut it in pieces. Half a cup of dried cranberries. Just toss them all in. And I've toasted some walnuts. It's about a half a cup of toasted walnuts. I toast them because when they're crisp, they really have that sort of walnut flavor. Just a big rough chop right on top. I'm gonna assemble all the pieces and then make a vinaigrette. Next, an apple. Granny Smith apple from my farm box. I'm just gonna peel it and chop it. Granny Smith apple's great because it's really tart, but if you have another apple, you can use really any apple you like. Just get a big chop. I don't like things too finely diced. I really want to just know they're there. Look how gorgeous that is. Okay, next is blue cheese. I'm going to use Roquefort because I love it. I need about 6 ounces of crumbled blue cheese. Roquefort is French sheep's milk cheese. So just give it a chop and then crumble it a little bit. What a great combination is it? It's sweet and piquant and peppery. It's got everything going for it in this salad. So for the vinaigrette, I want a really fresh flavor. So because of the apples in the salad, I'm going to use apple cider vinegar, about 3 tablespoons. Okay, then I need 2½ teaspoons of Dijon mustard. I want this to have lots of flavor. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. About a teaspoon of grated orange zest. And if you do it right into the bowl, you get all of the oils into the salad dressing. Okay, and then orange juice. Okay, I'm just gonna approximate. This is the kind of salad dressing you just want to taste and make sure it's right. Fantastic. Okay, lots of salt and pepper. The vinaigrette has to be really highly seasoned. Because remember, it's just going to coat the lettuce. Give it a whisk, and then 2/3 of a cup of olive oil. The mustard actually acts as an emulsifier, so if you pour it in really slowly, it'll emulsify the dressing. Okay, that should do it. Just taste it, make sure it's right. It's great. Really taste the maple syrup. You can taste the mustard and the apple and orange. Just pour it right over. Just enough to moisten it, but not soak it. Give it a big toss, and then I have one more thing to put in. Something salty and crunchy. A little bacon that I roasted at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. That's the last thing I put in. When I'm testing recipes, this is usually just about the time that my assistant Barbara shows up. It's lunchtime. I think this is going to be really good. Just make sure it's good. When I think of Greek food, I always think it's casual, it's fresh, it's outdoors. It's going to be really nice. My friends, the Greenwalds, know I'm bringing dinner. They don't know what I'm bringing, so I'm going to surprise them. So I've got Greek lamb with tzatziki. I thought, Greek salad. This I can make in my sleep. So first, the vinaigrette. 1/2 cup of olive oil. That should be about right. 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. I always like to use a good red wine vinegar. Just smell it. You'll know if it's good. 1/2 teaspoon of good Dijon mustard. One teaspoon of oregano. You know, usually I use fresh herbs, but in the case of oregano, I think it's really strong. So what I do is I take dried oregano and then just crush it between my hands, and it really releases the oils in it. It's one of the few herbs I think is actually too strong fresh. Oregano, teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and of course garlic. I've got 2 cloves of garlic, minced. Just whisk it all together. Okay, that's good. Next, the vegetables. First thing is 1 hothouse cucumber, then just cut the cucumber in big, thick slices. Next, 1 red pepper, large diced, and 1 yellow pepper, large diced. I think they taste so much better than green peppers. Okay, next, tomatoes. I'm just gonna cut each tomato in half. And just toss it right in. In Greece, they usually chop large tomatoes into chunks, but I like to use a box of really good cherry tomatoes. Just cut them in half. They're so sweet and intensely flavorful. Okay, that's the tomatoes. Next is red onion. I actually use red onion because I think it's a little sweeter than yellow onion. 1/2 cup of Kalamata olives. They're Greek olives, and of course, a Greek salad demands Greek olives. They're already pitted. And next, the vinaigrette. Just toss it all together. Just pour on enough so that the whole salad is moistened. That's about the whole thing. That should be it. Just give it a big toss. All these gorgeous vegetables. It's going to taste so good. And the last thing I'm going to put in is feta. Obviously, classic Greek ingredient, but I don't want to mix it too much because then it'll get crumbled. So I'm going to do big chunks of feta. For salad like this, I like to try and cut all the pieces in about the same sizes. I just think it gives it a really nice look. So it's about 2 cups of feta. Doesn't get any more delicious, and it's great for a big party.
Missy's my sister-in-law. So I did something I hardly ever do. I called Missy and said, come over for lunch. She and I never get together on our own, and today was the perfect opportunity. So I'm gonna whip up a delicious chicken taco salad just for the 2 of us. I've been seasoning 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I'm gonna get them into the pan. This chicken taco salad is one of my 16-minute meals. It's really, really fast, really easy, and so flavorful. I'll sprinkle the other side, then I won't have to touch the chicken with my hands. I'm just using prepared taco seasoning, and it's great for really quick meals. There's a lot of flavor. You don't have to take the time to mix different spices. It works really well. Okay, I'm letting this cook in oil and butter to give it great color and flavor. The chicken's gonna cook about 4 minutes per side. I'm using bottled ranch to make a spicy ranch dressing for the taco salad. I'll start with about 1/4 cup or so, and then I'll spoon in a couple tablespoons of jarred salsa. All right, now just to give the dressing a little bit of freshness, some cilantro. Missy doesn't live very far away, but we both get so busy, we hardly ever get together, just the 2 of us. So we're gonna have so much fun. Now the chicken should be ready to turn. Ooh, looks great, nice and flavorful. I'll just put it on a plate. Looks yummy. Now it's just gonna rest for a little bit. Now I have 2 ears of fresh corn, and I'm gonna grill the corn, but before I put it on the grill pan, I'm just gonna roll it around in the skillet that I cooked the chicken in, and it's just gonna get some of that yummy flavor on the outside. Okay, the corn is ready. It's got a little bit of color, a few grill marks on the outside. And now I'll just slice the corn kernels right off the cob. They're not too hot to handle. I love fresh corn because then you can control how much you cook it. I like corn to be pretty crunchy, not totally raw, but not totally cooked either. Now I'll just grab the chicken, dice it up. It looks really, really good. Everything in this salad is sort of bite-sized. That's what I love about it. Every bite is fun. It has a lot of different things going on. I'm so looking forward to getting together with Missy. And of course, we love getting together with the whole family, but sometimes we just want to kind of get over in a corner, have some girl talk. Okay, everything's ready. Now I just need to assemble the salad. I've got a whole bunch of shredded green leaf lettuce. I literally shaved it with a really sharp knife. Now I'll sprinkle on the diced chicken. And then I diced up just some Roma tomatoes. And then the grilled corn, delicious. I'll sprinkle on some pepper jack cheese, sliced green onions, avocado. Well, speak of the devil. Hi, Missy. You're here.
I'm here.
How weird for us just to get together for lunch. No kids, no husbands?
No.
I'm just finishing our salad, so I just gotta put the dressing on. There's tomatoes in there. Did you say healthy? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna sprinkle a few chips on, if you don't mind.